both the examples I gave you, Amul and ITC, are examples of getting better value for the farmers for what they produce. Amul increases the value of milk that they produce. And actually, it was a brilliant idea from Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. It is not new. He said Polson was really pushing them hard and not giving them enough value for the milk. And it was Sardar's idea to say, you organize yourself, you create your own milk processing facilities, you'll get better value. So creating that cooperative was a big opportunity. ITC is doing exactly that. So EID Parry is doing exactly that. Today you can go to Jaipur Rugs, which takes distributed villagers, makes rugs and builds global markets for them. So there are examples in India of having done it, creating opportunities for poor people. The farmer in ITC Chopal gets 8% more for exactly the same thing he used to produce. Now, more interestingly, he has a regular market as well. He is not beholden to the middleman. And now ITC is giving them information on what grades of soybean or wheat you should produce. So he can, for the same acreage, he can increase it to 25 to 30% and have a steady market. So it is possible to do.
I'm Anjali Jaipuria, standing here.
Yeah.
It was the most invigorating speech and it has really tickled our imagination. I'm an educationist. And the problem of education in India really causes sleepless nights to many of us educationists. Is there some manner in which we can bring about this micro-consumer business, because if nobody has funds to be able to educate all of India? Yet if we could think about them as micro-consumers and yet be able to give education in the villages, we'd love to have some kind of a case study if you do have already, Professor.
Yeah, I think there is a lot that's happening in education in India, which is fascinating. A lot more experimentation than is obvious. Let me just give you a simple statistic. Indian students studying abroad, how much money you think they spend? Anybody knows the statistic? 13 to 14 billion. That is, let us say 50 to 55,000 crores. Our annual budget for education inside India is 30,000 crores. There is something wrong here. Where is the 55,000 crores coming from? It's coming from private money. Now you can say that's only the rich people. I said maybe. How big is the private tuition business in this country? It is the fastest growing private sector business. Everybody wants to have everything from teaching English to school students, high school students, primary school students, all the way to technical colleges, medical colleges, engineering colleges. So private sector is well and alive in education. We just want to distort the market. I'll give you another statistic. People say we have to put a cap on the prices that you charge for a year's of education for engineering college, let us say. But we accept simultaneously capitation. So what are we saying? We are distorting the market. There is a market which is willing to pay a lot more, and we are unwilling to accept it. And therefore what goes? The market goes underground rather than being transparent. So we have done this all the time. And the most interesting thing for me is, I was recently told ISP was discredited by the system. It is the one institution which is better than IIMs, at least in the eyes of the outsiders. And we say you don't belong to the system because you didn't follow the rules. Maybe we want to change the rules rather than tell the number one institution that you don't belong here. So we have to look back. There is a lot of market for private sector in health and education that is taking place in front of our eyes. And we are closing our eyes and saying it does not exist. Just look at all the capitation paid in private colleges in this country. That number will stagger your mind. People are willing to pay for good quality education or any education. And so poor people are willing to pay. And I was on the jury of IFC's competition on building private sector to the poor. The first year, the best paper was private sector education in slums in Kenya, Nigeria, and India, both in Bombay and in Hyderabad. The private sector slum schools in Hyderabad scored much better than public sector schools on every count. And it exists. Only thing is it's invisible to the elite. That's all.
Thank you.
Hello.
Sorry, this one.
Sorry. I'm Madhushri Matula from the Greater Noida campus of IILM. You've been talking about a segmented market based on income and culture. Can it be made en masse? Can the rich also use such devices?
Absolutely. Actually, one of the things we find very interesting is we thought that this will go primarily to the poor. If you looked at the women who are buying it, they are not very poor. And they think it's a beautiful thing to have in your house. So, rule number one is build it for the poor, the rich can use it. Build it for the rich, the poor cannot use it. That's that simple.
Dhruv Agarwala. It was a quick question. The examples which you gave in the presentation included companies like BP and ITC. Any examples of startup companies who have started new enterprise serving the bottom of the pyramid, and any advice on for entrepreneurs in India who are looking to do startups to serve the bottom of the pyramid?
There is a lot of them. Take Kevin Kerr. Kevin Kerr started this sachet business for shampoos in South India. There is somebody, Nirma was the original for detergents. Now there is one in UP who is building a 500 crore business. There are 2,000 companies making tea in this country on a highly decentralized basis because the technology of tea bags is now widely available. So instead of selling just tea leaves, they put it in tea bags, take it in cycles and have a local distribution, and they're doing quite well. And some of them are going to become very big companies. So tremendous opportunity. In fact, wherever you look in India, you can only see opportunities. If you have good quality, affordable cost, access and distribution, and you're sympathetic or empathetic towards the ordinary person. Don't talk down to them, co-create with them. If you co-create with them, the opportunity is huge. And we tend to look down. And I think if we look down, you don't see the opportunity. Sit with them and talk to them. And my wife and I go to villages all the time when we are here. And I find it fascinating how interesting these people are. Because they can teach you so much. They know so much. But we just don't treat them because they don't have college degrees. Just listen. And I think I found it very interesting. I know that you had his hand up.
Can we take 4 questions?
Yeah, I'm fine with me.
Last 4 questions.
So with plenty of abundance of sunshine that we have in this country, increasing, would the solar cooker not be of particular relevance to our conditions?
I think, if you can tell me how to make chapatis on a solar cooker.
No, the party would make other cooking.
No, but it's an interesting question, is it not? What percentage of the population eats chapatis?
But what about rice cooking?
No, you can